everyone, it's Sally with the Polka Dot Life. I wanted to talk to you today about the Christmas Gleaming stamp set. It is a returning favorite and it is one of my personal favorites. It is very traditional and I love that about it. And you can use traditional colors. You can also use some non-traditional colors with it as well. Let's head over to the stamp desk and let's get started. I just have a scrap of very vanilla cardstock, and let's start out by doing some stamping. We're just going to be stamping our greeting is all we're going to be stamping today. And this is the Pretty Peacock ink, and it is so pretty. It is one of my favorite colors. And it actually made me a little sad to realize that this is the last Christmas we will have to stamp with this. I have my 2-inch circle punch, and we're just going to bring that in and punch our greeting. And you just simply just put your cardstock in there. You can just kind of press it very, very lightly and get it where you want it, and press. I wanted to do a card that really let that paper do the bulk of the work for you. We're going to start and just use a very vanilla card base so that that DSP really stands out. Get that nice little burnish with our bone folder. The Brightly Gleaming Specialty Designer Series paper is so pretty. If you got a card from me last holiday season, it was a good chance that maybe it was made of this. And it's specialty because it has this foiling in it. We could also use this side if that was what you like better. But today we are going to be using this particular side. Just going to adhere down our card base. And this is just our standard first matting layer on a standard card base. And I wanted to, again, feature some of that Pretty Peacock. And I love this ribbon. And I know I have shown you this before, but we're going to go over it again. I have 2 pair of paper snips, and I always keep one for my ribbon, and I have just a piece of ribbon on that. But we're going to take this and we're just going to snip right up through the center. And you don't have to be straight about it, as long as you're not like really close to the sides. We're going to be putting that alongside of this is a piece of copper foil paper, and I have embossed that with the hammered metal embossing folder. We were all so happy when this stamp set and paper and things got brought back. There were some manufacturing delays in this last year, and so a lot of demonstrators didn't even get to sell it or demonstrate it because it didn't get here. There were just major shipping delays. And it was something that was out of Stampin' Up's control. So they decided, since it was so popular, they brought it again this year. And it's actually in the annual catalog, at least the stamp set is. I'm not sure if the paper is, or it might just be in the holiday catalog. But I'm just putting some of our tear and tape down, mostly because A, it's less messy, and B, when something is embossed, then it's a little hard to adhere to it sometimes. And this one has really deep indentions on it. I'm going to bring this just back in for a minute in case I would adhere it down to my work surface, which I should have my silicone mat, but I did not. I had that using it for some gluing and I washed it off and it is in by the sink and I did not carry it out here. We're just going to turn this over and do the same thing with the second side. And we just butt this right up against the edge of that pretty peacock surface. I'm just gonna press into this pretty good on the ends just to make sure it's all happy. And we are going to cut this right off if I can get my hand steady. And we can do this wherever we would like this layer to be. I'm going to put it up just, you know, a little bit from the bottom, but not really in the center. And I have our greeting, and we're just simply going to put it right there. And again, you do want to use a good adhesive like the Tombow glue, or you could use another piece of that tear and tape if you'd like. But there are times we want to decorate our cards, and there are times we just really want that designer series paper to be the star of the show. And I think that is so pretty. I have just simply done an inside layer with the rest of the sentiment. It's kind of a two-part sentiment from this stamp set. And I put a piece of the holly, and I did these all in the pretty peacock. And we'll just adhere that down on the inside. I think the font is really, really nice in this set with the greeting. So it says, deck the halls with boughs of holly and be jolly this season. And I just think that is super fun. And I simply just did a piece of holly on the outside of this and did the flap with some designer series paper. I want to bring in another card that I did, and it is using the same paper and same embossing folder and the same copper foil. And it's a little bit more involved, but it's super easy. And it just, again, is letting this designer series paper be the star of the show. And inside, I just did this small strip and did the same greeting and stamping. Now this card, I did change it up. Just because if maybe those aren't your color wheel, I just wanted to feature this stamp set. And then we also, there is a punch that goes with this and the smaller image of the ornament that can be purchased as well. And this is the Seaside Spray thread that is part of, I want to say it's the Flowers for Every Season bundle. And this is that white crinkled seam binding ribbon. I simply did layers. I embossed this with our Subtles embossing folder. And I did a different greeting in this one just because I wanted something a little bit bigger since I didn't have anything else going on in the inside of the card. But I love Seaside Spray. And I just thought, well, maybe these colors weren't your cup of tea, but I don't want you to ever think that you are limited by a stamp set or a suite of products. and that you can't do your own thing, because that certainly is not the truth. And I believe this is from the Tasteful Label dies. Thank you for spending some of your day with me. I hope that you enjoyed this little demonstration. As always, remember to be kind, send a card, and do something creative. Bye-bye.